I would like to extend a warm welcome to all of you assembled here who have taken time out of their busy schedule to come and hear about Microsoft Intech joint proposition. I'd like to thank Mr. Mehta and the entire Intech team for having us here. And it's indeed a great opportunity to interact with all of you here, which we'll keep on doing in the course of the evening. Today's theme for me, which I have chosen in line with the theme for the evening, is managing complexity with simplicity. We know that the area of business applications covers all facets of an organization's activity. And in many times we find that it's not the simplest of situations that we face in our day-to-day lives. But how do we address this complexity with simplicity? And how do we make life simple for all of you out here is an objective of Microsoft. And that's what I'm going to cover in my brief presentation for the next 10 to 15 minutes. So let me start with an old saying. Simplest way is usually the best way. Sounds very simple, but maybe not so simple to implement. But yes, simplest way is usually the best way. This was mentioned by a Franciscan friar in the late 13th century, as old as that. And even today we are grappling with complexity, so we have to see the simple way out. So what are those typical challenges? And Anuja made a brief introduction for myself, and I have been in the business application space for the last 15 years. And these are some of the things which I'm sure many of you have seen and heard, and I have also heard in the course of my journey. What we have seen that the penetration in most of the organizations, and these are all backed by analyst reports, is to the tune of 15% of the employees of that organization. 15% of the employees possibly have license fees. You will see low penetration down below. And out of that, maybe 46% are using it. So out of 15%, 46% are actually using the software, right? And we have seen in the course of an ERP implementation cycle, we have long, costly training periods. We have to train and retrain our people. People leave, people join. So training is a big component in our ERP implementation and maintenance cycle, the entire life cycle of an ERP. And the darker side of it, there are some failed implementations also which we see and which we come across. Around 28% of here it talks about CRM implementation failed to go live. And I'm sure the number is very similar when it comes to ERP, if not more. So what is Microsoft's thought around addressing these challenges? We believe that people drive business outcomes. It's all about people. If we make a product adaptable and usable to the people in the corporates, obviously then the ERP implementation and the usage would succeed and business benefits would accrue. So this is a core theme of our ERP initiatives, that it's all about people. And if you look at the applications journey in any organization, you will have business productivity tools, stuff like MS Office, documentation, emails, and stuff like that. On the other hand, you have business applications, right? So you have finance, operations, sales and marketing, and so on. And how do we, make it interoperable and integrated? It's important for you and me out here who goes to the office in the morning and opens up his screen, and possibly opens up his email screen or his office screen, to see how he can use that user-friendliness and integrate it back in with the applications that it has. And that's the basic theme and the messaging that Microsoft is trying to do. And if we can do it properly, then we can make it business ready, right? So usage and adaptability will go up, and the product, the applications background will be ready for the business. How do we do that? The product has to be familiar to the people. So I talked about applications and I talked about office automation, right? So you have structured information, stuff like purchase orders, work orders, purchase requisitions, sales orders, whole lot of structured documented stuff. And then you have unstructured information, right? So you have your documents, Word documents, your email, a lot of information floats in these unstructured documents. Now, how do we leverage this unstructured data and integrate it with the structured data at the back? How do we make it integrated and interoperable? And if we succeed in doing that, then it makes it familiar, then it makes it usable. And that's what we are driving towards. And of course, we also have to make very crucial decisions in our daily lives in the various corporates. When the senior management, the middle management, they have to take calls. They need data support and they need analytical support, right? So we talked about simplicity. So we can make it as simple as using the Excel. So you can see the Microsoft Office tab on the left-hand side, and integrating it with the Dynamics in the middle. At the same time, if you want to have your BI capabilities within Dynamics, you can do so using the advantage of native SQL Server that also comes from the Microsoft platform. So we give you the best of both worlds, right? You can use Excel integrated with Dynamics. You can use the Dynamics BI capabilities using SQL Server. So that's very crucial, and that helps you in making confident decisions. So if I kind of summarize on why do we profess that you should go for Microsoft Dynamics, I would say it's familiar to your people. It should be with all that I talked about. It fits with your systems. Many of you are using obviously Windows, Windows Server, Visual Studio, SQL, SharePoint, Exchange, Office, and then Dynamics becomes a component of that entire story, right? So it fits in with your systems. Obviously, it leads to improvement in your business productivity and enables excellent decision making. A little bit about what are the components of Dynamics. We have all the components of an end-to-end ERP, starting from finance, manufacturing, project accounting, HR, supply chain, analysis, distribution, CRM, and Microsoft CRM is one of the leading CRM in today's world, right? So we have all the components, and then you can use the SharePoint portal as your single portal interface. So these are the components of a dynamic solution. So if you're evaluating your requirements right now, you can look at all these components, and the intake team will help you in going through them. A very critical element of this is we have role-tailored user interfaces. So it's like this. When we got into the applications journey and around 7 years back, we figured out that there are various roles in an organization, whether it's the management, the operations, sales and marketing, finance, HR, and whether it's the IT department. And each one of them would like to have their set of forms and reports and UIs available to them. And if we can provide that to the various departments, the various functions in the manner they like it, then it becomes very usable and user-friendly. And that's something which we are proud about, that this is something which is a unique differentiator for Microsoft. There are 30 roles which are covered as a part of the Dynamics solution that we offer through NAV. And how it helps is all the information, in a daily life situation, the person who's using the product feels that for him, all this information is in his fingertips. He can do his entire activity by spending time on Outlook, because a lot of his software is integrated with Outlook, whatever he needs in terms of his application software. And it looks as if it is designed for me, right? So a purchase guy, his looks into the software will be very different from what a sales guy does or what the CEO does. I'll give you a couple of examples. This is just an example of how a dashboard can look like for a salesperson. So you would see at the top, you have a room center with sales orders, new sales quotations, sales quotations, open sales orders, etc., etc. Then you have a list of tasks which he has to do throughout the day. You have